And let's try Derek in Denver, listening on AM 760. Hey, Derek, you wanted to disagree with me in my assertion that having a government official on a government payroll in a government-paid-for facility open a meeting with a prayer is a violation of the First Amendment.
Yeah, it couldn't come at a more convenient time after Papatonio just got done speaking, which, by the way, you should call him when he makes assertions. Go to his website and look at the bios of his lawyers. There's very few are even from a top 50 law school, let alone 10 of them that could beat the qualifications of any Supreme Court.
Doesn't make somebody a bad lawyer.
What's that? Well, he said on paper he has 10 lawyers that would beat anyone.
Yeah, I'm willing to believe him. You think that what makes somebody a good lawyer is that their daddy went to Harvard so they can get into Harvard?
He said on paper. On paper means qualifications and resume and things like that.
Derek, this is a debate you're going to have to take up with Pap. I don't know his lawyers. I don't know his law firm, and I can't.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Well, go look at it.
You had a debate to pick up. You had a bone to pick with me. Go for it.
Yeah, I did. I'm basically a libertarian at mind, but the biggest problem with you guys on the left, which is anytime you think something is bad, you think it should be unconstitutional.
That's not true. I can give you a long list of things I think are bad that are not in the Constitution.
Well, okay, how do you explain the fact that almost every single person who drafted the Constitution not only participated and endorsed the hiring of a chaplain for Congress, they almost all of them had prayers before their state and government meetings when they were there. Now, you're going to say, oh, it's a living document and blah, 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 blah. But then that's just an excuse to twist the Constitution to anything you want.
Actually, I would suggest you go back and read James Madison's papers. There were lots and lots and lots of meetings that did not open with any kind of prayer. That did not.
I was a faculty member at a law school. I know what I'm talking about. And the other thing is... Was it top 50? What's that?
Was it top 50?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually.
All right.
Top 20, if you want to know.
Okay.
But I'd be glad to talk to you offline about it because, you people...
That's fine. I'll take your word for it.
People come out here all the time and just distort. Just like you do with Citizens United. You say, well, money isn't speech. Well, that's just absolutely wrong. I mean, the politics, the judges that are politicians almost exclusively, not exclusively, but almost exclusively come from the left. Because unless you're willing to say that the Congress should be able to regulate the budget that the New York Times spends on political reporting, if you're comfortable with that, then you're consistent. But otherwise, it's just basically, oh, gee, God forbid we should have a company other than a left-leaning media company being able to have free speech.
You're not making any sense here, Derek. I'm sorry.
Okay, so do you think that the Congress could regulate the amount of money that the New York Times spends on political reporting?
I broadly no. Why?
Well, then why can they regulate how much other companies spend on their political activities?
Well, because political reporting and political advocacy are two different things. If you had asked, do I think Congress should have the right to regulate how much the New York Times can spend on political advocacy under cover of being the press, I would argue that sort of like, the doctrine of piercing the corporate veil, that would be the point at which the New York Times ceases to be the press and no longer enjoys protections under the First Amendment.
So you probably think that Congress should be able to regulate what Fox News reports because you think that they're advocating for right-wing and...
No, what I said in no way leads...
And who judges what's, quote, political? If the New York Times constantly takes a left-wing point of view, constantly endorse candidates.
Right.
Constantly endorses candidates as 95% of their
as the press has done since the founding of the Republic. Yeah.
What's that?
As the press has done since the founding of the Republic.
As what press has done? As
the press has done since the founding of the Republic. We've had newspapers endorsing candidates since the founding of this Republic.
Right, and we've had prayer in front of public meetings since the founding of the Republic too. So
you're right.
So you can use, there's a perfect example of how you guys think.
And yet, in 1907, Congress passed a law, the Tillman Act, which made it a federal crime for a corporation to give money to a politician who is running for federal office. And that stood until Citizens United.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tell me that Citizens United, which struck down literally 103 years of law, of law passed by we the people, that was not, those judges were not behaving as if they were politicians?
How many years of law did Roe versus Wade struck down? How many years of law did...
At the federal level? None that I know of. I don't know that there were any...
How many years of accepted common law and accepted state law did Roe versus Wade and Brown versus...
Well, let me give you my opinion on Roe.
Also 100 years. Also 100 years.
No, there were, to the best of my knowledge, I may be wrong on this, and correct me if I am and give me the citation, but I don't know that there were any federal regulations against abortion in 73. A, and B, I think that Roe v. Wade was wrongly decided. I think when the Supreme Court established the doctrine of 3 trimesters, that they wrote law, and that's not the job of the Supreme Court. I find that nowhere in the Constitution.
Well, the original wrong case was the predecessor of that, which found a mythical right to privacy in the Ninth Amendment. But that's that, and that overturned, almost 150 years of accepted law.
Which case was that?
The Connecticut.
You're talking about Griswold in Connecticut?
Yeah.
About contraception?
Yeah.
But that was within your own home. I mean, okay, Derek, we'll have to live to fight another day. We're out of time.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 866-987-THOM.
But I love debating the law. Give me a call back next week. We'll be back.